I figure we're going to read through the birthright citizenship issue, and then we'll read through the live updates post. I wanted to save the AOC. Hopefully we get a decent fucking president in 2028 article for a time in which Rick will be here. Oh, hey, Linda, are you working tonight? Or if you're not, can you engage? That's a very good question. I keep hoping that. Oh, and there's Joyce. Oh, okay, great, Beth. If you feel like you can come in and talk, please just tell me, because we don't get Rick tonight, and I don't know that Elaine is going to come unless somebody warns her. She might not feel up to it. As a matter of fact, let me send a notification there. Oh yeah, of course, Beth, 100%. Oh, she told you that, Helen? Good. Well, then that means that that's probably not a bad thing, I don't think. So, we'll just go with it and see what happens. And I'm sorry I look like shit tonight. But I had a pretty rough day today, so I'm just trying to recover with my tasty beverage. Really? I think you're just trying to be nice to me. So here, let me get the live updates post, because we don't have Craig tonight. Going on. So there's the live updates post. And then here is the citizenship post. But we'll do the citizenship post, sort of after the fact. We're gonna do a couple of randos, and see how that works out. So we're gonna just see how that goes before I go into it. I'll just go right into it. And if anybody wants to duel on the live, just say so. I will happily invite you into the live, and we can side talk about whatever the fuck it is that you want to talk about. So the first thing is Trump is in full dementia mode now, as it appears that they are making a mountain out of a molehill over a picture that former FBI Director James Comey took of shells that were shaped in the form of 8647, which the far right and the conspiracy nut jobs have all taken to mean James Comey calling for the assassination of Donald Trump by a random 8647 seashell matchup that was on the beach that he just took a random picture of. And that means, conspiracy-wise, Trump is calling for the assassination. Trump is saying that Comey's calling for Trump's assassination, which is fucking bullshit. I mean, we all know this. And if we don't know this, we should know this. I mean, that's just how it is. Hey Beth, I'm gonna dose you. So this happens, right? And wow, you cut your hair.
Do you really want to talk about me cutting my hair? It was a bad situation.
Well, let's get through the live shit.
Yeah, let's get to the.
But it's really cute, by the way.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. So Trump asserts, and everybody in right-wing fairy makeup land or whatever asserts that that Comey taking a picture of a bunch of shells on the beach is a sign that that Comey is calling for Trump to be assassinated.
I did see that, yes.
And so, I'm like, all right, well, sure. I mean, okay, sure. And like what I can only do is classic Lewis Black-like fashion. And in case none of you realize this, I am a huge Lewis Black fan. Lewis Black is one of the greatest stand-up comedians ever. Well, what happens? Kristi Noem goes off and says the DHS is going to investigate Comey. They went completely nuclear on him. And Noem says that he should be arrested. He should be thrown into prison without due process for threatening to assassinate the president. And here's the thing. There were numerous memes over the course of the 4 years previous to Trump becoming president, right, where right-wingers were like, we need to kidnap Biden, we need to assassinate him, we need to, do all this bad shit to him. And where was the outrage?
Right. There wasn't any then.
Yeah, where was the outrage? But
exactly,
James Comey takes a random picture of a bunch of seashells on the fucking beach that he just found, and that means he's calling for Trump to be assassinated.
Oh, of course.
And they need to immediately arrest his ass. Yeah. While all that's happening, the GOP's big, beautiful mega bill budget went to committee. And so it was hanging by a damn thread when I reported it this morning. Well, it turns out it went to committee and it lost 16 to 21.
Right.
And Ralph Norman and Chip Roy and a handful of hard right wing conservatives voted against it.
Was there like 5?
Yeah, there were 5.
I think the 5. Yeah.
Like 5 hard right wings that said, fuck no, we're not voting for this. This is horrible. Now, again, I want to reiterate to everybody that literally sitting 20 feet away from me is Norman's niece. Norman's niece lives in this house with me. And so I have a unique view into the way that asshole behaves. Although he's not an asshole for turning it the fuck down, which is, what should have happened. So, so as it stands right now,
I'm playing. There we go.
Committee has deep sixed the budget bill. So it's going to have to be reworked. It's going to have to be reworked. And then on top of that, Donald Trump came out. Well, so the first thing that happened is the budget committee meeting turned into a circus. And so Norman and Roy and Clyde basically stormed out and said, we're voting against this. Fuck you guys. You know what the fuck you're doing.
Right.
And so while everybody else that is voting for it, all the Democrats voted against it. And then 5 of the Republicans voted against it. But The other Republicans are trying to expedite the process to gut Medicaid by $880 billion over the course of a 7-year period. And so now,
which is terrifying.
It's completely terrifying. Majority Leader Scalise is huddling in side rooms with other members of the party, trying to get them on board with it. And they're not taking it. They're literally not taking it. And the reason for that is if they pass that bill, it will guarantee that the constituencies in their districts, because of the effect that it will have on Medicaid and the effect that it will have on drug prices, will guarantee they don't get reelected. It literally will guarantee they don't get reelected.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is a disaster. So, while all that's happening, and Trump is in the Middle East, and I'm sorry, I'm going to say this, Trump is in the Middle East sucking on a bunch of Arabian sheikh penis, because that's what he's doing. Which,
that's
by the way,
accurate, yes.
Which, by the way, is pissing his base off, that he's essentially death gripping the Saudis, and trying to get whatever he can out of them. By the way, I have confirmed from a confirmed and anonymous source, and maybe people have heard this. The plane that the Qataris are giving to Donald Trump,
yeah, I wanted to discuss that. Yeah, go ahead.
Has been on sale since 2020, and they couldn't sell it.
I heard that. I did hear that.
Yeah. So, yeah.
They're like, here's a little gift that we can't get rid of, asshole.
Yeah. And so here's the thing. There's mechanical issues with that plane. And yet, the Saudis have convinced Donald Trump that they'll let him have it for $400 million or whatever.
Is this a good thing, maybe?
I mean,
get on that plane, baby. It doesn't.
Money Bog, that estimate is really far low. The estimates that I have from the people that I have been talking to have estimated that it would actually cost them between $8 and $10 billion to refit the plane. And the process, the process, by the way, would not be a matter of months. It would take a year for them to refit the entire plane and sanitize it and make sure there's no bombs or surveillance, any of that. They literally have to take the entire the entire plane has to be taken apart.
That's some bullshit.
And put
and stacked with diapers,
Yeah, right.
Got to put all those diapers in there. Yeah, it's a lot of work.
Yeah. By the way, if you hear this one over here saying bullshit, it's not to what I'm saying. It's the fact that she's getting her ass handed to her in an Overwatch game. Because I got my kids here. So now, while all this is happening, this is where it gets better. Which, by the way, I don't know if you said, if you're working, can you come in? But if you are not working, just tell me and let me know. So the Republican Party is chewing itself up hand over fist. And so, they're tearing themselves apart like random wild rabid wolves. And they're literally fighting over every piece and shred of meat that's left. Budget Committee ranking member Brendan Boyle drew bipartisan laughs when he started about the vigorous debate between Republicans and some other Republicans. And he blasted the legislation as a bill for billionaires. And so while guaranteeing every Democrat would vote against it, the Democratic strategy is simple. let the self-important jackasses implode on their own, while highlighting how this 1,100-page monstrosity serves the wealthy at everyone else's expense. And so the traditional GOP members, so those are the members that are against the bill, and the Democratic Party are all like, yeah, let them go to civil war. I mean, they're going to fucking do it anyway. Just let them kill each other at this point. I literally don't give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
I literally don't give a shit. Oh, and there's Elaine. So we're gonna.
Hi, Elaine.
Yeah, we're gonna drag Elaine. We're gonna.
I love it. I've missed you guys.
Yeah, so you had an interview today, by the way. Let me get through this, and then we can.
Oh yeah.
We can commiserate. So, with all of this clusterfuck happening, Republicans' margin for error has even become more thin than toilet paper. The 21-16 Republican majority means in the committee they can only afford 2 deflections if every Democrat shows up to vote no. So, and we found that Norman, Roy, and Clyde all threatened to tank the bill, and they did. So, in committee, until in committee, until they take, from what I understand, until they take whatever effect on Medicaid off, then they won't. They will not. They won't. They'll sink it every time. And the Medicaid gutting is what is crucial in payment reduction to guarantee Trump's tax breaks for the rich. That's how, and so I don't know how the fuck they're going to work that out. I really don't. So it's like, well, shit. Fuck. Okay, here we go. So from a psychological perspective, and I've said this before, we're literally watching the dead eat the fucking dead. You know, I mean, it looks like a bad Crichton novel.
Yes.
Eaters of the dead.
Eaters of the dead.
Eating.
Oh, Wendy. Yeah, it is. It's a bad. You know, at best a C movie.
You know that book was made into a movie, right? Crichton's Eaters of the Dead. That was my favorite Antonio Banderas movie, The 13th Warrior. And I hate that I'm sorry. A little social commentary here. I hate that I love that movie so much, but literally that entire movie, half of the movie is still shots of Antonio Banderas' face with wind blowing on it.
Which is fabulous.
Plus, not a lot of people know this. That movie is actually 2 movies that have been tied together. The movie started out as a Verhoeven movie, and then halfway through production, they fired him, and McTiernan finished the rest of it. So when you watch that movie, it's like...
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. The whole director thing. There were numerous issues with... by the way, Astrid, if you're listening or paying attention, if you have battery, just let me know, and you can come in and laugh about this shit, because I think you would appreciate this part of the conversation.
We'll be laughing about this.
Yeah, just tell me yes or no. But yeah, so Verhoeven did the first half of the movie. So when you watch that movie, okay, great. Well then, yeah, let's do this.
Bullshit.
Hi, Astrid.
See, I told you, don't listen to her.
Absolute bullshit.
No, don't listen to her.
Hi, Astrid.
All right, so
Good to see you.
so for you to participate in this
I think we have
conversation,
some possible cheaters happening.
yeah, they're playing Overwatch and they're getting their asses handed to them. So, all right, so
2 hours.
So to participate in this conversation, I have to ask: have you ever seen the movie The 13th Warrior?
No,
Okay, so
we've had this conversation.
okay, right. So basically, Verhoeven did the first half of the movie. The second half of the movie, McTiernan did the rest of it. And so when you watch that movie, you watch the movie all the way up until they get to the point where, like, the bear people or whatever attacked the
Holy
the
shit! I gotta close a window. I think we're getting a bad storm. Hold on.
Yeah, bad storm.
Ooh.
So you sort of miss the.
What? She just got that. What?
My kids are here and it's Overwatch night, and they're playing Overwatch and they're getting their ass handed to them. So I get to listen to it.
My dad is here.
Huh?
My dad is here. My daughter's graduation tomorrow.
Wow. So I have to ask.
He's right here.
How is that going?
It's going well. It's really, really nice to see him. We went axe throwing. And drinking.
Really?
And drinking. Yeah, drinking and axe throwing.
Throwing and drinking.
Place. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
I was just drinking. I was an axe throwing, but
I'm still drinking.
Yeah.
Dad, do you want to say hi? You see him?
Hey there.
Is that Dave?
No, this isn't Dave. Dave is Elaine's brother. This is Wendy.
Oh, it's Wendy.
Yeah.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Good.
You're drinking.
Yeah, he's got wine
Am
too.
I the only one not drink? I drank earlier.
We're doing well with the belting. We're having
Hello?
wine and cheese for dinner.
And Beth.
Wine and cheese. Wait, are you doing like the diced fruit and crackers thing too, or is it just the cheese?
It's just diced, just cubed cheese.
Oh, well, but that's still good though. That's still good.
I'm literally hiding from a 90. I'm hiding from a 90-year-old and an 86-year-old with dementia upstairs in my dad's house, though.
Oh.
Well, I mean, I won't tell you that I wouldn't be doing the same.
In case they doubt your axe throwing.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm supposed to show my axe throwing. Hold on.
You're supposed
I don't know
to.
if you can see my TV though. It's too far away. No, you can't really see it. Yeah, you can't see it.
I can. I have. Okay, I want to say, as a person who is in possession of a 496-year-old bladed weapon.
Oh wow.
Oh, have we never had that conversation?
No, I haven't. No.
I know you have a sword of some sort.
Yeah, here, let's educate Beth.
Yeah, educate that.
Yeah, here, let's educate Beth. So
And do you wield this?
oh yes, very well, I might add.
I love it.
So sky to ground draw, ground to sky draw. You'll note the edging is very well mudded on the blade.
Ooh.
The blade was manufactured in 15 and 16.
Wow.
Where is it from?
It's Chinese. It's a Muramasa.
Wow. How did you come across that? Now I'm curious.
Well, okay, so
We don't talk about it situation.
Oh,
or?
is this like a we
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
no. So do you know the story of Muramasa's weapons?
No, not familiar.
Okay. So I went to an estate sale years and years ago. When you read my biography, there's the chapter about Karen.
Yes.
Karen and I were weapons collectors when I was younger. And so I went to an estate sale and I bought a lot of 15 weapons. And the reason I bought that lot was because the lot had two 1756 Spanish cutlasses in it that I wanted.
Oh wow.
And so I got the lot for like $2,300. And at the time, I was an amateur K1 fighter, and I had tourney winnings, and so I was doing that while I was going to college and shit. And so, well, I went through the lot and I found a tachi. So just the blade with no hilt or scabbard, and it had kanji on it. So I sent it to a friend of mine who, at the time, was one of the co-founders of CAS Iberia. CAS Iberia was a long time accredited blacksmith and replication maker. They would replicate old weapons and sell them. So I sent it to him, and I'm like, can you tell me what this is? I found it wrapped in a cloth. I have no idea what the fuck it is. And so like a week later, he called me up. He's like, take this and hide it, and just hide it. And I was like, okay. And I asked him, I'm like, can you re-hilt it, and can you give me a scabby to go with it? And he's like, I can do that, but then you're going to hide it. And I said, why? And he said, because it's a Muramasa. And I went, oh, like that's like 1513 to like 1523 or whatever. He was like, yeah. So the 4 kanji on it were literally single Muramasa's initials. The kanji of the samurai that first touched it after it was forged, and the number 7. And here's why. People don't know this about those blades. Single Muramasa would forge the blade in his smithy. After it was forged and cooled, he would scabbard the blade, hand it to a samurai, and the samurai would go out in the courtyard of Kabuta, line up 10 serfs back to back to back to back to back to back to back.
Oh wow.
Drop the sword to the ground, sky to ground draw in an easterly movement, and then however many heads came off determined the efficacy of the blade.
Oh.
So the number kanji on that blade is 7. Here's the problem. The legend says that if the blade did not remove 10 heads, it would be forever cursed.
Oh, well.
And the curse of those blades is bloodlust. And so the legend says that if completely unsheathed, the blade would curse the bearer to draw blood before it could be put back into its scabbard.
Have you ever completely unsheathed it?
Oh yeah, of course. I have hundreds of times.
I'm like,
yeah, I have hundreds of times. Yeah, I will tell you.
Should we attempt it? How many heads it removes? I have a few people I would consider.
Yeah, here's the thing. That one twinges. Of all of the weapons that I own, that one twinges. So when you hold it up and tap it with your finger, he moves. Because it literally weighs 3.5, maybe 4 pounds.
Oh wow!
So the blade is paper thin. Wow. So right now, my claymores, and I have a full set of those, versus the stuff that I have in storage, which is a handful of Spanish cutlasses. I have a handful of French rapiers with matching parries. I have a couple of axes. And then I have a couple of reproductions. I will tell you, especially if you're a D&D player, I have a replica dwarven Urgosh that, yeah, and that's the axe head with the little hooky blade on the bottom. And so,
wow.
But that thing weighs like 36 pounds or whatever. But my claymore, the bastard hand and a half that I have in the house, she weighs about 37, maybe 38 pounds. And so when I have parties here, I tell her, like, if you can pick it up with one hand, you'll earn my respect or whatever. And then they're like, well, you do it. I'm like, okay, here. Your turn. And we have a lot of events, when we have events, there's a lot of queer and trans persons that come, and so like all of my FTM friends are like, "Oh, here, I'll do it," and then they try to do it, and I'm like, "Okay." So yeah,
I love it. I love
yeah,
it.
if you want to talk about European and Asian metallurgy related to weapon creation, I'm a really good person for that because I understand the history really well.
What?
Yeah, right.
Come and say
What?
like you were kicked out of Roadhog.
Don't listen to her.
What?
Don't listen. Don't listen to her, and don't listen to that one either. This is my Friday night, usually. So you went axe throwing. Did you get any bowls? Did you
Any
hit
what?
any? Did you hit any in the center?
I did
Wow.
by accident. By accident. I missed many more times. Yeah.
But how
So the
fun.
interesting thing about this place is you can get cocktails there and they have a 4-drink limit. I'm like, really?
Cocktails and axe throwing. That
Right.
seems like that's right up my
Yeah.
alley.
So I had 2 G&Ts and I'm like, pretty sure I wouldn't want to drive right now, but let me go throw that axe a few more times.
Hell yeah.
I love it.
My youngest is now enthused by your activity. I have to ask though, did you injure yourself
Nope.
at all?
Although apparently I got a little, my dad says something about cutting my ear off, so I might have been a little too close to my head when I started throwing
Well,
one-handed.
you know, that's not an axe wound that you can lick.
Happy to report that there were no injuries.
Nice.
Okay, well,
And then perhaps ego, that's all.
My ability to engage in sexual innuendos. If Elaine were here, she'd be admonishing the shit out of me.
I think I saw
know
her on
she's
that day.
here.
She's
Did I
here,
see
yeah.
her?
I'm surprised she hasn't said something.
Let's hear. I see Elaine. She's here.
Yeah.
Well, so you had fun.
It was a nice day. Like I said, he's here for my daughter's graduation, law school graduation, which is tomorrow. Yep, and then
Well, see, so
Sunday.
my middle one, Gizmo, her graduation is on Thursday of next week.
Okay.
Aw. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
to you.
Yeah, I'm a very happy mom about that fact.
You should be.
I don't see her enough, but I'm still very happy about that. And then too, she's made probably the better of choices for her collegiate career.
What is
because
she
she wa-
pursuing?
Huh?
What is she graduating with? What is her field?
So,
Studies?
well, no, this she's graduating from high school.
Okay.
Her chosen field is
Right. Okay.
is psychology. She wants to be a psychologist. Yeah, she
That's
wants to be a-
wonderful.
And so I'm all. If you want to do that, go for it. I will support you in that. I literally did tell her though, you're going to have to get a master's degree.
Yeah.
Unless you just want to be an LCSW or whatever.
Right.
And she's like, yeah, I know. And so, okay, well, as long as you're aware, you know, I'm good. So yeah, I proud parental moment. So my parents will actually be here next week.
Oh, nice.
So my parents are flying in from the Bay Area, and so that'll be fun. Does yours know where they are going?
You talking to me?
Yes, collegiate wise.
I only have one, and she's graduating from law school. I have 3. Sorry, I have one that's pursuing the college pathway, and she's done.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you do have one that's still in college, but that's so law school. That's
No,
it.
the other 2 aren't in college, so.
Well,
they're just working.
I have to say, I realize that university is not for everybody.
Mhm.
And in last night's discussion, I talked about this. I really wish one of the things that we would do politically is focus on increasing vocational education choices and different education choices that fall outside of the university and the collegiate experience. Because
I agree.
there are people that don't understand. I know Mercedes-Benz mechanics that make twice the amount of money I make.
Fuck that life, Weaver.
Oh.
And yeah, don't listen to her. It's bullshit. Don't listen to her.
I gotta get comfy here. Okay.
So yeah, and Linda Simpson, I'm sure, appeasingly agree with me. As a law enforcement person, there are alternate paths that a person can take to seek a career that don't require you to cough up $80,000, $90,000, $100,000 to go to college.
Right.
Right.
Why is our team not healing us?
And then don't
Too much
listen.
DPS, I can't heal.
No, don't
So
listen
we
to
don't
her.
have any healers.
They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Friday night at Wendy's house.
I love it.
You know, what the hell, right? So yeah, I mean, when we talked about, Linda, I did not know that law enforcement agencies require a 4-year degree.
Many do. I'm going to say several of them in our metro do. One of them that really should and has actually had federal suits filed against them for one of our local agencies does not. They should require a 4-year degree, but only because I think it helps them to expand. It broadens their perspective, frankly, helps them to see things a little bit differently, enhances critical thinking skills, purportedly,
So I have a perspective about this. One of my exes, her oldest child was a CJIS major, and Hunter is his name, love him to death, and he is currently a police officer. Linda, don't judge me for this. He's a police officer up in Minnesota, of all places. And so he tried to qualify for being, Linda, you can correct me if I'm wrong on the term, just to be clear. But he did testing to be a beat cop, a patrolman. And the first time that he took the psych exam at 19, he failed it.
The psych exam?
Yeah, he didn't pass the psych exam. Then when he was 20, he took it again, and he still didn't pass it. And so then he hit 21, and at 21, he took a job in the name of the town where he is a patrolman is Brainerd, Minnesota. And so, and this was the thing, like he was friends with the police chief because the police chief's kid was a Brazilian jiu-jitsu friend of his. I mean, he was connected, and the force knew him. He just didn't pass the psych eval. And so he worked in the jail for a year, and then he took the psych eval and passed it. And so, right. And so people ask me this, like, when you go to college, what does college do for you? Well, there's a couple things. Regardless of what you major in, holding a college degree asserts that you have been educated and you can speak intelligently about whatever the fuck it is that you majored in. So that's the first thing that comes out of being a college graduate. The second thing is that yes, your horizons get broadened from the fact, that you're 19 or whatever, and you think you know every goddamn thing, but you don't. I mean, look, I failed bowling in college, so, and I'm not going to tell that story again. But I failed bowling in college. If that doesn't expand your horizons, I don't know what the fuck.
Bowling?
Yeah, okay, fine. So here's what happened. Real quick.
Bowling.
Here's what
Bowling.
happened. Linda, you've already heard this, so you get to laugh about it again. The semester that I took quantum physics, calculus 2, statistics, and then I had to take an elective course because I was at Georgia Tech. And so my elective course was bowling. Well, so for statistics, don't laugh when I say this. I hated that class.
I'm gonna
so
laugh.
much. I hated statistics so much. I showed up for the first day of class. I showed up for the last day of class, took the exam, got an A on it, by the way, out of sheer luck, and then made a C in the class and never went back to statistics ever again. So
Good for you.
So the other two that I had to worry about was quantum physics and calculus 2, which were kicking my ass. Huge, they were kicking my ass. So, well, I would bowl my games on the weekends. And what I noted was, because we could track grade averages, was that like every time I bowled a game, I would go up like half a point. And then I'd bowl another game and I'd go up another half a point. And then I'd bowl another game and I'd have bowl another half a point. And I was like, oh, okay. So I don't have to do this shit again until I can bowl back to back 146 bowling games to get my grade up to a C. So, have you ever tried to bowl 147 games in a 3-day period?
Oh my gosh, 3 days.
No.
Do you know how possible that is? So,
Not terribly.
no, I didn't think about it. Fuck it. I said, no, I'm okay with this, right? So what I did was I waited until 3 days before I was supposed to turn all my scorecards in. And so I tried to bowl 147 games in a 3-day period. And so for the first day, it wasn't so horrible. Like the first day, I pick the ball up, roll it down the lane, get back in, get my physics book in front of my face, and go back to studying. Okay, like after like 6 hours of that, it was tiring. I couldn't do it. So I had my chair with my feet propped up on the return. The ball would roll up to the return. I'd kick it with one foot out of the return and then kick it with the other foot to go down the lane. And by the way, I want to be very clear. I did that like 4 or 5 times, and I got like 4 strikes in one game doing that. So it wasn't like I was scoring badly, but I got up to I was down to the 2 hours before the deadline, and I was basically sleeping in the phys ed center while that was happening, and so I had gotten up to like 132 games.
Oh, you're close.
Yeah, so like I had people that were in the phys ed center behind me that were all building up and they were cheering me on and shit, and it was a fun experience. So like half hour before I was supposed to turn my cards in, somebody in the crowd was like, "Hey, I'll bowl the last 10 games for you right now," and he starts to walk down. For which then, right after that, in a very loud, booming, aggressive voice, I hear the phys ed teacher say, and I'm going to misgender myself here by saying this, he literally says, "If you pick up that ball, I will fail his ass right now." So I got up to 132 or 133 games, and it wasn't enough, and I failed that class. But I made a B in quantum physics, and I made a B in calculus. So that made it worth it. But so yeah, I like the 2 college classes I failed. You'll laugh when I tell you this: bowling and accounting. Because accounting was the most boring ass. It was, oh my god, it was the most boring ass bullshit in my life, and I never wanted to. Yeah, the whole debits. I get balancing and debits and credits or whatever, but oh my god, it was mind-numbingly boring. And I couldn't do it.
You can't die from that. What?
So yeah, don't listen to her.
All right, I'm gonna hop off.
Yep. Thank you, Astrid. Please
Have a
It was
recover
good to
from
see you,
your
Aster.
great weekend.
yes. Please recover from your axe throwing
We're
experience.
fine.
Keep
Yes, it was
drinking, have
great.
fun, and
All right. Have a good
Good to
one.
see you.
yep.
See you too. Bye.
Oh, Astrid's good people.
I know
So
Elaine's here.
yeah, so now we have to go and grab Elaine.
Let's grab Elaine.
Yeah, because Elaine did something, and I want to hear about it
All right.
as a social commentary. I want to hear about it.
Hello.
So did you watch it?
Hello.
I did.
Okay, so now you have
I'm,
to tell me you have to give me your review.
well, first you have to. I'm feeding the cats, so and they're looking daggers at me. So if I don't give them their fucking wet food, my life will no longer be worth living. However, I can
Because
recommend the 2024 HBO Max adaptation of Salem's Lot because I watched that this afternoon and it was good. It was.
I saw it.
Yeah, I've seen
Mhm.
the original one. I remember watching when it originally aired in 1979,
Yes.
and I remember the one from 2004, which
Mhm. Oh
was
yeah.
was also good. Although I don't think it was as good as the 79 version. I mean, the special effects were better, but it just didn't have the atmosphere. Maybe it's
Mhm.
because it was James Mason, as the villain. He was so, and his wife was also in the cast. She played one of the moms that got turned into a vampire. Anyway, so yeah. Hang on just a second. All right, go on. Here you go.
We
So
are getting one hell of a storm.
I wanted to be clear about this with you,
Yes.
Elaine. So I had seen the '79 um,
Mm-hmm.
two-part miniseries.
Mm-hmm.
I had then seen the 1987 Return to Salem's Lot.
Oh, that sucked.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And that
It
was the
did
one
suck.
with Michael Moriarty, who, by the way, I have to say is my favorite Law and Order attorney. Even though I love Sam Waterston to death, I really do.
Was Michael Moriarty in Law and Order?
Yeah, the first 4 seasons of the original Law and Order.
Oh, okay.
Bye, Rouser. Thanks for coming by. Always thankful when you come by. Because you're one of my founders, and that's just cool. Yeah, Moriarty was in it, Sam Fuller, Andrew Duggan, and Evelyn Key. So I watched that. I never watched the 2004 miniseries, and that was the one with Rob Lowe and Andre Braugher, Donald Sutherland.
Yes.
Yeah, Rutger Hauer.
Yeah, but you're saying that the HBO was worth it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I didn't really recognize any of the actors in it other than Alfred Woodard. But that's because I'm, behind the times and don't pay attention to things.
Isn't Pullman's kid in that? Lewis Pullman?
I don't know.
That's Bill Pullman's kid, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When Bill Pullman married Tamara Hurwitz, their first kid together was Lewis Pullman, and he is actually kind of cool. He's a drummer who was in a band with Eden Brolin, who is one of Josh Brolin's kids, which is kind of.
I didn't know that.
Sorry. Yeah.
Fun
weird,
facts.
Yeah, weird fact. Look, I will just warn all of you. I am like if you ever play a game of Trivial Pursuit in real life or electronically or whatever, and you need a team player, just ask me to do it because I am literally the queen of useless and totally, utterly unimportant knowledge.
I love
Wait a
it.
minute, I thought I was the queen of utterly useless and unimportant knowledge.
Oh no, we can have that challenge. We can totally have that challenge. You could totally. So now, Beth, now that we're kind of back into social hour mode, and we're not going to talk about the birthright thing. I will just tell you that the birthright citizenship deal is being examined by SCOTUS over the course of the next week.
Okay. Yeah, because I missed out on some news.
Yeah. And I listened to the arguments about it. And I would tell you that it, like basically Gorsuch and Barrett, Tony Barrett, and Jackson and Kagan and Sotomayor were all like, why the fuck are we here?
Mm-hmm.
And Thomas, Alito, and Kavanaugh were like, no, we should listen to the argument. So you're right. And so here's the important thing that you need to take away from that is there are people that have tried to repeal the 14th Amendment in 4 separate occasions. It happened in 1884, Elk versus Wilkins, and that was shot down. By the way, 1884, the Supreme Court was unilaterally 100% conservative at that time, and they shot it down 7-2. And then it happened again in it happened again in 1898, and that was over a Chinese immigrations issue, and it was shot down 6-2. But the big issue is 1982 and 1985. In 1982, Plyler v. Doe, which was argued that undocumented immigrants are not persons, and SCOTUS landmarked that decision in a 5-4 decision that ruled undocumented immigrants are persons and protected by the 14th Amendment, which is why I'm asking, why the fuck are we here?
Right.
SCOTUS already decided that back in 82, which also happened again in 85, and that was INS v. Rios Pineda. That case involved a Mexican couple facing deportation who had a U.S.-born child. While the main issues were procedural, what was striking is that nobody, not the government, not the court, not a single justice, questioned that the child was a U.S. citizen by virtue of being born here. And that decision was a 9-0 deal. So the 85 case and the 82 case come core to this issue. INS v. Rios Pineda, that's already been worked out. And the court said 9-0, fuck off.
I will say, Amy Coney Barrett is certainly not turning out to be the little fascinating total woman that Trump thought he was going to get.
Yeah,
I like
followed
that.
Yeah, I followed most of Coney Barrett's decisions, and she's a lot more centrist than I think Trump was ever aware.
Yeah.
I mean, for that matter, I hate to say this, but Kavanaugh is center-right more than Trump was aware. Because Kavanaugh has voted on issues that Trump was like, I should never have put him into that position. And so, regardless, so the 82 and 85 decisions are core to the issue that's being raised. And so, from my perspective, based on those decisions and based on what I am seeing, what I feel is going to happen is it's going to go 5-3 against, and then Roberts is going to ascend the opinion, making it 6-3. So, that's the issue with that. So now, you had shit happen today, Beth. So talk about it.
Shit happened today. Are you talking today or this week?
No, well, this week. So
I came out. I knew my dad wasn't doing very well. I literally arrived within hours of getting him to the ER. He was bleeding out, GI bleed. He lost so much blood. They had to give him 2 bags of blood. He was transferred from Adrian, Michigan to Toledo Hospital, ProMedica.
Right.
So there were, it was kind of scary. And then we've got him home, and I'm trying to get him well before my Sunday. I have to get a hotel room near the airport in Detroit to fly out at 7 a.m. and get back to Washington State. Today I had an interview, and my dad's lifelong partner, 86-year-old girlfriend, interrupted it. She has dementia. So that didn't go so great. So waiting to see how that what results that comes out. But yeah, it's been a tough week. But I'm just glad my dad's okay. Celebrated his 90th birthday this last Wednesday with him.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dad would have been 99 today.
Oh.
Oh gosh, Elaine, I didn't realize.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you, your dad's in Michigan?
Yeah, my dad's in Michigan.
You're in Washington State?
Yeah, I'm out in Washington, and I'm all he had.
Pacific Northwest.
The Pacific Northwest. And so, yeah, it was just...
Is he in assisted living or anything?
No. What is amazing, my dad still drives at 90. I don't, I think people need to realize that. He's on the road. He's very independent. He has his wits about him. Unfortunately, his 86-year-old partner, girlfriend that he's had since I was 17, she's has dementia, not doing very well. And so, yeah, trying to convince anyone that it's maybe we should start thinking of other ideas and possibilities for care. But my dad is so independent. He's adamant about having his own.
Oh, I know. I had to drive to Michigan I drove to Michigan and put my dad in the car and said, "You're coming home and living with me," and that's that. So.
That's kind of how
look, I hope my kids have the sensibility to say that to me. Mom,
right?
You're just coming to live with us so that we can protect you.
Yeah, and that's how I feel. I would love to just stick my dad in a car and say that's it, but he is just, this is where he's been. He's been on a lake all his life. He doesn't. He's old school, and he's just not. What did I do? Oh, I just saw.
You know what? I feel like, okay, my youngest just said, I don't know that I would want to live with senior you.
I mean, you're crazy enough as is right now. You probably
right.
If you thought that she couldn't live by herself, yes, she would. So, I mean, that's when I was up there. When I was up there visiting him, I didn't go up there with the idea of dragging him down here. I went up there to visit him, and he lived out in the middle of nowhere. And he had some episode in the middle of the night and was just terrified, just screaming. And I went in, and calmed him down and got him cleaned up and got the bed changed and got him back to bed. And the next morning I said, "Dad, you can't live by yourself anymore." So that's that. And
see, I feel like senior me, the worst part of senior me is, I would tell
senior
me, I'm not geriatric yet. I'm 53, but I feel like the worst part about senior Wendy is that I would tell the same horrible jokes over and over and over and over and over again. And so if Gizmo were here, Gizmo would say, "Oh, yes, senior mom Wendy, we would have to hear the Helen Keller joke like over and over and over again." And I would just have to tell her, "Don't stop telling that joke."
You mean how she burned to the side of her face because she went to answer the phone and answered the iron?
No, it's worse than that.
Oh, okay.
I will tell it, but it's worse than that. and I might lose readers over it.
Oh damn.
When I was
So
in junior high, it was baby jokes. Oh.
There's a game show called Truth or Consequences. Have you seen it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So 3 people are playing Truth or Consequences. And contestant number 1 says, "My name is Helen Keller." And contestant number 2 says, "No, my name is Helen Keller." And contestant number 3 says, "No, yim, 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 yim." It's horrible, right?
This is horrible.
It's horrible, right? I'm a bad person. I'm a bad person for telling that joke.
Very.
I'm a bad bitch. I'm a bad bitch.
You can be a bad bitch. It's okay.
Look, my ranking on the philosophy rising, list, like this was bad. Like yesterday it was at 19. Today I was at 49. I feel this is horrible. I feel this
Once I
is
get
horrible.
wind of that joke, it's going to be at 78, buddy.
No, don't say that. Don't say that.
Oh man.
Don't. Gosh, don't tell me that. I feel bad now. I feel horrible.
Felt bad before, so.
No. I mean, I already.
Anyway, here, if you want me to take part of the blame for it, I'll tell you. How do you get 100 dead babies in a shoebox?
How?
Law machine.
What?
Law machine. It was a food processor. It was one of the first models of food processors.
Oh.
Oh my
I can't
goodness.
believe you've never heard that.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, you just broke
I know. And I'm an abortion rights activist, too. I had to tell some of the womb sniffers on the sidewalk that one.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Yeah.
Lane.
So you are very bad for that. I'm very bad for.
Well, like I
she
said, just giving you some help,
No, Elaine.
Now, if it drops again, you can blame it on me. See?
Yeah, but
or the bad haircut that I received before I came. Shit.
I have a terrible joke too.
Oh, all right. Yeah. So here you go. Let my kid.
Okay. What do you call a woman who is missing a leg? What's the name of a woman? Wait. No, what?
Oh, I know the joke you're trying to tell.
Yeah, like
What do you call a woman with one leg shorter than the other?
Eileen.
Eileen.
Yeah, Eileen.
What do you call her when she's Asian? Irene.
Oh, Irene.
I haven't heard that part of it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, Charlie, bad. Bad Charlie. Don't tell that joke again. I'm a good mother. Don't tell that joke again.
Says you said worse.
I know.
Says you.
Yeah, I'm not going to be a horribly influential mother. Look, this is the same child that when we're all in the car and I make some random sexual innuendo, this one has to tell me, stop!
Stop.
Stung.
I heard a ridiculous joke today.
Oh, okay, I want to hear. Let's hear it.
It's ridiculous. It's a plain joke.
Okay.
So, flight attendants on a plane, and she sees a woman come up from economy and sit in first class, and she says, "I'm sorry, you can't sit there. You need to go back to your seat." She says, "I'm blonde, I'm beautiful, and I'm going to Detroit." She says, "Well, that's great, but you can't sit here. I'm blonde, I'm beautiful, and I'm going to Detroit." So flight attendant goes into the cabin and tells the cockpit and tells the pilot and co-pilot that he says, "I'm sorry, you need to go back to your seat. I'm blonde, I'm beautiful, and I'm going to Detroit." he goes back into the cockpit and says, "She's not going to move." And the pilot says, "Did you say she's blonde?" He says, "I'm married to a blonde." He goes, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." And she gets up and she goes back to your seat. He says, "Well," they said, "What did you tell her?" He says, "Detroit, the first class isn't going to Detroit."
Oh, terrible.
Oh. Oh.
There you go.
Tekalo, thank you. You came in. We're just joshing up. You know, I used to work for a calendar factory, right? They fired me because I tried to take a couple of days.
Oh, that's terrible.
Cops arrested me. I got 2 months. Once I got out, I had to have a year of therapy. Decades later, I still tell that joke.
God. I love it. I love it.
Time. Ooh, I have
How
one
has
as
everybody
well.
been this week?
All right, one more, Charlie. Go for it.
Why can't
Oh, here we go.
why can't dinosaurs clap? Because they're dead.
See, this is a problem. All right, so this one over here, our 20-year-old, has Gen Z humor, and I do not understand Gen Z humor at all, or why it is that Gen Z thinks it's fucking funny. And so,
What's an example?
Toaster.
right. Gen Z people find the skibbity toilet thing funny,
I don't
It's not
find it
funny.
and I have no idea why the fuck that's funny.
It's not funny. It's brain rot. It
It's
sucks.
brain rot.
Right. So cringy brain rot is funny.
Not funny. It's funny in an ironic way that it doesn't make sense.
Right. Okay. I don't get why the fuck that's funny.
It's funny because it's not funny.
But by saying it's not funny, you are literally saying that it is funny because it's not funny.
Yeah, it's funny in an
You're
ironic
just-
way.
You're just
It's a joke
contradicting.
because you bring it up and everyone.
Yeah.
All right, Helen, what's
I think
happening?
So it's funny.
It's like I heard a joke online that humor 20 years from now is going to be putting on a VR headset and instantly getting the memories of 10,000 years of torture and thinking it's hilarious. And then
Oh my God, that's horrific.
and then everyone just passes it between each other. It gets 10,000 more years of torture and just laughs constantly. And then the death is gone and it's 10,000 years of torture and gets scarred forever. And then they keep putting on each other and laughing.
This is why I worry about the youth of today. I just want to say, this is why I worry about the youth of today. I mean,
I want to know why they skipped Generation Y.
There's a story about that actually.
Is there?
Yeah, and I can't remember. So what I will do is let me write a note down to myself. I will research it and tell you why. But there's a reason why they skipped the letter.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some funny story behind that, and so yeah,
Okay, that's actually so hilarious. Gen Y. Why did they skip? Why?
It's called
Gen
Millennium.
Y.
I mean, it's not bad enough. They skip Gen X and they skip us all the time. Talk about millennials and boomers hating each other. And I'm like, fuck. You know, there's an entire generation of us that hate all of you.
Well, I hate to point this out, Elaine, but aren't you a boomer?
Uh-oh.
1965 is
Oh.
Gen X.
He went there.
Yeah.
See, that's my pussy.
The baby.
What a beautiful baby. Oh.
I saw Lane stroking hers earlier.
Yeah, well, actually have, three. Well, three others.
Well, mine's pretentious.
Hmm.
If I try to pick him up, he will not.
You demon.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
a pretentious fucking cat. So Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Linda. I appreciate that. He's actually
He
a
is
very cute
beautiful.
cat. He has to
He knows
decide.
it too, yes.
Yeah, he has to decide your lap is where he wants to be or
Yeah.
whatever.
He once stayed being in baby for like 2 minutes while sitting down before.
Yeah. He's much better about that in the middle of the day. So, all right, well, cool. So, ladies, I will say thank you. Because I got to bail these bitches out of the Overwatch game they're playing.
Okay.
So, you're not going to. Yeah, everybody wave at Charlie.
Hi, Charlie.
Bonjour.
See, my readers like you. So.
Yeah.
Yay.
I'm sorry.
I'll be back. I'll be back in Washington Monday.
Okay, so on
Get
Monday.
get back in the game.
All right.
I got to catch up with politics. Although the little bit I've seen, I'm ready to go hide.
Well, I'm just going to tell you, and I will tell all of the other readers this at the same time. I'm really just trying to tone down the political rhetoric. So what I'm doing is basically the live updates post where I'm one-shotting crap, and then a focused psych post. Now, and I've talked to Rick about this. I've told Rick if we dual our posts, so if he writes something that's politically driven, I've told him I will write a companion article that examines the psychology and philosophy of what he's talking about, and he and I can go back and forth, and that will decrease the amount of the world is falling the fuck apart, and this is why.
I like that.
Bitch.
So the world is falling apart, and why the fuck is it happening? That will, going forward, will be the live updates. The live updates post is turning into the Voices of America post, and then I'm going to just focus on subject verification with whatever it is that Rick's writing, so that it can keep his flow going.
Okay.
And then I'm going to continue doing the. I shit you not, I'm up to now 197 possible queer history articles.
Oh, wow.
So I'm going to keep churning those out every day until probably the end of the year. Because that's all shit that everybody needs to know. For example, I'm just going to warn you. So today's was the Stonewall one. The one coming tomorrow, and this is one that not many people know about, I don't think, is the Hays Code.
What is it called?
Yeah,
The Hays Code.
The Hays Code. Do you know about the Hays Code, Beth?
No, I do not.
Okay, so then you will have to read this, but I'll just tell you briefly. In 1935, Hollywood initiated the Hays Code.
Yes.
And what the Hays Code says is that from thereafter, all queer, lesbian, gay, and trans characters that were in Hollywood movies had to be coded as villainous, or they weren't allowed to be in it. Now,
and they had to off themselves at the end, too.
They either had to die or they had to disappear off screen. Here's
That's
the thing.
horrible.
Yeah, here's the thing. Before that, so the mid-20s going into 35, there was queer representation, gay representation, lesbian representation. By the way, if you look through the archive, there's an article about Mercedes de Acosta. Mercedes de Acosta had thriving lesbian relationships with Greta Garbo, Marlene Dietrich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Like all of those people. And then Marlene Dietrich is one of the people that actually was the first person to kiss a woman on a Hollywood film in 1932.
Yeah.
Lesbians?
Yes.
Unfortunately, I wasn't alive yet then, so it couldn't be me.
So there was queer representation in Hollywood until conservatives freaked the fuck out about it.
Stay hopeful, Elaine.
I know.
And then, so from 35 up to about 95 or 96, gay and queer coding in films was controlled by the conservatives.
Gays?
Yes,
The
right.
gays are real?
Yes.
Oh.
No, perish the thought.
Ooh.
So,
It's like why?
right. So I will tell you, Beth. So tomorrow's queer history article is the Hays Code, and then
Okay.
to temper that, Sunday's queer history post is what it was like before the Hays Code. So you'll read that contrast and you'll be like, "Holy fuck! Really?
I'll read them.
Really? I mean, really?" So,
What the fuck?
yeah, right. I completely. So, I would suggest that, yeah. So, every day queer history. Queer history is happening until the end of the year. Every day.
All right. I'm excited for queer history. All right.
Yeah, including, by the way, Linda's friend, or the person that Linda Simpson knows, who, by the way, in yesterday's call, identified that this person was the first trans DC police officer in the early 60s.
Oh.
And so I did the workup. Linda, I just want you to know I did the
Interesting.
I did the workup for that. I'm probably going to drop that Sunday or Monday. But I did a full workup on it. It's 5,000 words, and I've done some really, really good work there. So don't worry. I think you'll be happy. So, all right. So, ladies.
Thank you. Thank
Yep.
you. Thank you.
Yep. Love you both.
Love you. Thanks.
All right, everybody. So here we are, end of the day. I want to thank all of you for being paid subscribers. If you're a paid subscriber, thank you. You're allowing me to realize my dream.
Their Sombra keeps killing me.
Don't listen to her. So, and as Elaine said,
she keeps chasing after me.
We should all be Wendyans. So Elaine, drop the Wendyans thing into the chat. If you're a free subscriber, thank you for being a free subscriber. Continue to share the work that we're doing with other people, because it's important to get that message out. I would tell all of you, thank you. If you stay safe, stay healthy, stay strong. I need you. We all need each other. That's the only way we get through this fucking bullshit. And so with that, I will tell you good night. Keep yourself well, stay strong. And I love you and good night.